Hi, my name's Ruan and this is my channel, The Yorkshire Sew Girl. Welcome back. I'm coming today with actually some makes. I know it's unheard of, but I have actually been making some things in the background over the last few months and I just haven't had a chance to talk to you about them. Now, my level of productivity has reduced somewhat just because I've been busy. We went on holiday. My granddad's not been so well, so I've been granddad sitting. So I've not had an awful lot of time. So I've just been trying to fit in a little bit here and there as and when I can. So it is Tuesday night and it is actually 7 o'clock. So the light looks a little bit weird and I'm going to try and whiz through this because I'm going to start losing the light any minute. But we'll just go with it for now, shall we? And see where we get to. Okay, so I've got 5 things to talk through with you today, which I have made over the last few months. I've taken photos of them all, so I will be putting those up as well so that you can see them in the vlog. Some of which I haven't actually even put on Instagram yet, but I'll get there. I'll get there in the end. So shall we dive right in? So, make number one is a pattern that I've made several times before. You'll be surprised to know. And that is this one here, which is a Saltwater slip dress by Friday Pattern Company. Now, you will all know my love of this pattern. I think Tamlin, my gorgeous Tamlin, feels exactly the same. I had this cut out in a project bag for months. When I cut out a number of projects that I want to make, I sometimes cut out something that I've already made before that I know will fit me while I'm cutting out. So when I didn't have this room and I used to cut out downstairs, I used to cut out as much as I could in one big go. I don't have to do that now. But I had this left over from before then. So it's just been sat in my Kallax unit over here, waiting for the moment that I felt like I wanted to make it up. And then I did want to the other week. So I ran this up quite quickly. Now, because I've made this before, I can make this pretty quickly, which is nice. I use this fabric here, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I love this dress. I know I'm going to get loads of wear out of it. It's a really nice weighty viscose. It's black with these gorgeous, like almost retro big flowers on it in all these different colours, and I love it so much. I really do. I'll be putting some pictures in as well of the pattern itself, just so that you can see the line drawings and everything, because no one wants to see the drawings that I make in my book. So I do have my book here. I will be looking down. This is my project book that I write all of them up. And guess what? I filled the last one in. So I've had to order another one. Say what? So that's been really interesting. Anyway, so the sizing for the Saltwater slip dress, if you don't already know, goes from an XS to 7X. And that is a bust of 32 inches to 60, a waist of 24 to 53, and a hips of 34 to 63. So really good size range. That's really size inclusive, which is nice. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to talk about measurements. So for frame of reference, at the moment I am, sorry, I'm fiddling with my hair, but it's doing my head in today. I am about a 42.5 to 43 bust, a 38 waist, and a 46-inch hip. Now, I've made this pattern a couple of times before and I still wear those Saltwater slips. So even though I've put weight on, I know I can get away with the sizing that I have made previously. So when I looked at my sizing, I should have really come out as an XL on the bust and an XXL on the waist and the hips. But I've done one size down from each of those. So I've done a large on the bust, an XL on the waist, and an XL on the hips, and I love the fit of it. I do the version with the ties, so you don't have to have the ties that go around the back, but I like it because it cinches it in a little bit. I let it go round the back and then round the front and then tie it at the front, which I quite like. So yeah, so I've sized down one size on all of them. Now this pattern, I think people get put off sometimes by the amount of bias binding. So you have bias binding all the way around here, on the straps, all the way around here, and then your ties are also bias binding as well. But I don't know if I'm a bit weird, but that don't bother me. Am I weird? Probably am weird. And also the construction method on this is slightly different. So you know normally that you would put the raw edges to the raw edges, sew it on and then turn it over. This doesn't, it kind of just slots over the top. But I think I've done quite well with it, to be honest. I mean, you know, sometimes you can kind of skip bits on the inside. When I checked it all, I hadn't skipped any. which is unheard of for me. Sometimes I've had to go in and hand stitch it a little bit together, but I didn't need to. I love the fact that it's got cheeky slits up the side, not too much, but enough to, you know, get a little bit of leg out. But yeah, I'm super pleased with it. Now, obviously, if you're making bias binding with viscose, you can use a spray starch as well, but I actually didn't do it with that. I'm just a rebel, you know what I mean? The only thing I might do next time is extend the ties a little bit, because I like to pull it round the back and then to the front. I don't have that much length on it, and I might just extend it by a couple of inches next time. But it's not the end of the world, if you know what I mean. And on the back, the other thing I love about this is that you do have bra sliders on there, so you can adjust your straps, which I love. To me, when you're making a pattern, it drives me insane, and I'll talk about it in a minute. When you do straps, you sew them on, you try it on, you're like, no, that's not right. So then you try and adjust it again, and you try it back on again, and it's still not right. Don't have to worry with this. It's all done for you, because you can just adjust them like you would do on your bra. Bob on. So I absolutely love it. So that is make number 1. I think that was rather successful. I haven't got post-it notes separating mine. I've got apparatus, haberdashery. They are my little markers, so I know what page to turn to. Gotta use what you've got. Gotta use what you've got. Okay, so let's talk. Where are my pajamas? Oh, I've put them over there because I'm going to pack them. Hang on a moment. I'm going to wear them this weekend, so I'll put them in the pack pile. So, if anybody watched one of my recent videos, you will see that I had some double gauze that I'd got from a So Hayley Jane box, I think last year, that was pale blue with gold suns on it. And I love the fabric, and I was going to make pajamas out of it because it's not really my colour. And loads of you guys said, well, just dye it then. And I was like, oh, can someone tell me why I have not thought of that before, please? Anyway, I had a bit of a brain fart, obviously. So I dyed it. And look at it. I am so happy with this. It came out amazingly well. So I used a Dylon pod that you just put in your washing machine, and that's how it came out. And do you know what I love? The gold suns have actually come out like a pewter colour. How cute is that? Got a thread there. Get off. So yeah, so when I went to Sew Toon with my lovely Northern Soul sisters, I decided to take a project that would be quick and simple, and so I took this because I've made this before, and that's the Peppermint magazine loungewear set, but made into shorts for pajamas. I already have 2 pairs of double gauze Peppermint loungewear sets, but anyway, that's besides the point. You never need enough of double gauze pajamas. But yeah, so I've made these. So you'll see the shorts, there's pockets either side, and it's just a really simple construction with the waistband. You can make a what's the word? A tube. It's not the word. And then feed your elastic through, or you can do it like they say, measure your elastic, flip it over, sew it in, flip it over again. So that's what I did, because it's the lazy way. And I put this cute little label in that says dream it, make it, go for it, which is a little rosy cheek label, which I love. So as soon as I pick them up, I can quickly just know which way round. And then this is the top. Now this is a really oversized top. Here we go. If you can see it again, I'll put pictures in. It's all creased up because I've started to fold it up ready for packing. So this just has, it's just like almost 2 pieces basically put together with a little facing round here that you sew in. I mean, it's as simple as that. But it's incredibly oversized. It dips at the back. Again, I'll show you some photos so that you can see that's it. It is quite cropped, I must admit, but I like that for pajamas. I didn't want them to be too long. But yeah, super happy. Let's talk about the pattern. So I've had a lot of use out of this. For any of you that know, the old patterns on Peppermint magazine are free to download if you so wish, or you can contribute. All the new patterns that they've started bringing out, they are chargeable, but they're certainly not expensive. And this pattern is designed by Common Stitch, and it's a fantastic pattern. It's really well drafted. The instructions are really good. Chef's kisses. So you can donate an amount of money as well to it. but I just love it. It's really good, like I say, instructions, and you know, sometimes you can get free patterns and you're a bit like, this isn't one of them. I've also made some long pajama bottoms in some checked fabric as well with the bottoms pattern, because I know they fit me really well, and I have got some fabric from First Fabrics that I'm going to make some more shorts in, so this is the only pajamas I'm going to have by the looks of it, but I'm all right with that. So the sizes go from an A to K, so that's a bust of 31 to 48.5 inches, a waist of 24 to 42 inches, and a hips of 34 to 52 inches. But there is a lot of ease in this pattern, so I think you'd be able to get away with it a little bit if you're on the upper end of that as well. Now, I should be a G on my bust, a H on my waist, and a G on my hips, but I actually sized down 2 sizes on the top, and it's still massive. So I knew it was okay from when I'd made it before, so I just made the same size again in a size E, and it's so big. Even now, you'll see from the photos, it's really lovely and slouchy, which is exactly what I want, but that's 2 sizes down. On the hips, I did the exact measurements I should, which is a G, but on the waist, I should have been a H, but I just made a G because I thought, well, do you know what, I'm going to cinch it in anyway with elastic, so I couldn't be bothered to grade from one size to the other, because I'm a rebel. So, what can I say about it? I took that to Sew-Toon because I wanted something really quick and simple to make while I was there, rather than something complicated where I couldn't just natter all the time to everybody. So I took that with the hopes that I'd get it all sewn up, and I did. And that's how quick it is to make. Bearing in mind, Sew-Toon is from 10 till 4, but at 11 o'clock we go out to First Fabrics. We don't normally get back till about 12:30, then we have our lunch, then we're nattering, so a matter of a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours I would say, and you're done. The only thing was I didn't have elastic on me, so I had to do that when I got back, but other than that, I did it. I was quite proud of myself, so I'm really, really pleased. I would definitely consider dyeing fabric in future if it wasn't to my taste. Obviously if it's a natural fibre and not something like polyester, because it won't work. But I did think that was quite interesting how the metallic did change as well, and I think it looks beautiful. It's a little bit more subtle now, but yeah, I think the colour is just amazing. So thank you for all those people that told me that I was a little bit crazy and that I hadn't already thought about it. So just so you know, I want to say thank you. Right, what next? Ooh, right. This is one that I made a while ago actually, and I've only just got round to showing it to you guys. And it is this one. Look at this. So this is a pattern that I've made before as well. There's a theme going on here. The next two, don't worry, I haven't made before, but these ones I have. And I think sometimes it's really nice to make a pattern that you've made before and you know that fits you and you know how it's constructed and you know that you can make it and you don't have to have any doubts in yourself. But I wanted to make the Zadie playsuit by Paper Theory, but in the playsuit version, not in the jumpsuit version. Now, I had a vision in my head that I wanted to wear this when I went to Portugal with the girls, and I knew which fabric I wanted. I bought this as a remnant from Rainbow Fabrics. Now, I know I work with Rainbow Fabrics, but this was a purchased fabric. And when they had their remnants, they just had 2 meters, and 2 meters it wasn't even slightly over. And I was having a Zoom call with Tamlin and Rachel one night, quite some time ago, and I was saying I'm determined to get a playsuit out of that. Now, obviously, I'm not the smallest of people in height and in width, so it was a struggle to get it out 2 meters, put it that way. But I managed it. I did the biggest game of Tetris you have ever seen on this floor down here to try and get that out of that fabric, but I was determined. And I managed it with literally a little handful of scraps, which was so satisfying. At first I was like, oh, well, I might have to do a binding, a plain binding, but I really liked it matching. And then I was thinking, well, maybe for the pocket linings, I could get away with it. But no, I managed to squeeze every little speck out. The only thing was the bias binding was slightly shorter than it needed to be. But I knew from making it before that I always had a bit of excess that I had to chop off anyway. So I just went with it. So the other thing is I made it the length on my legs of the fabric that I had. I couldn't do anything else basically. Oh, excuse me, my phone is being weird. So yeah, I just literally made it to the very bottom of my fabric, and that was the length it was, and it worked perfectly, because I don't like shorts being too short, you know what I'm saying, but I also don't like them being too long. So where they came out, again, you'll see the pictures, I was really, really happy with it. The fabric sewed like a dream. It was just beautiful, and again, there's quite a bit of bias binding on that and it is viscose, but it pressed like a dream, so there's no moaning from me in regards to that one. Now let's talk sizing. So the Zadie jumpsuit goes from a size 6 to 28, and this is UK sizes, which is a bust of 31.5 to 55, a waist of 24 to 47.5, and a hips of 34 to 57.5. So really good sizing, and it's very oversized. The biggest thing I see on Instagram and Facebook and queries is, when I'm making the Zadie, what size should I make? And you'll probably see that a lot of people that make it up in the size that it says they should are unhappy with it because there's so much ease in it. Now, some people are comfortable with that, but I didn't want that amount of ease. I wanted it to kind of fit quite closely on the top, but then have enough ease on the bottom. So, for reference, I should be an 18 on the top, on the bust, a 20 on the waist, and then in between an 18 and 20 on the hips. However, I made a 14 on the bust, which is 2 sizes down. I made a 16 on the waist, which is 2 sizes down, and I made a 14 on the hips, which is 2 sizes down. And I still have plenty of room in that garment. The top fits me perfectly. I think because it's a bit tighter, it doesn't gape, which is perfect for me, and there's enough room in my hips and everything for me to sit down comfortably in it and not have a worry. Now, people also worry about the crotch depth. I've not had to worry about that, and I think the reason for that is because I've downsized quite significantly. The only thing is, obviously, that when you come to take it off, I do have to like roll my shoulders a little bit to get it off when I'm about to sit naked on the toilet. But that doesn't bother me because I think it's worth it for the fit. It's not a massive struggle. It's just not the easiest thing to kind of get off, but you know. So yeah, I was really happy with that. I wanted to lengthen the ties on that, but I couldn't because I didn't have enough fabric, but it's fine. I would just like a little bit more length on it if I could. Now, people look at the Zadie and they go, oh, that looks quite hard, but it really isn't. So it's a quick make for anybody who's kind of been umming and ahhing about it. The only thing that takes a little bit of time and effort is the bias binding that goes around the front and the side. That is literally it. Everything else is like done. So don't be put off by what looks like a bit of a complicated pattern. I think pretty much anybody could make that because there's no fastenings or anything like that. No zips, no nothing in that. So it's a really good one to go for it. So yeah, I don't think I've got much more to say about that other than I'm absolutely suited with it, and I've already worn it lots on my hollybobs, so that'll be getting even more use. Okay. Oh, and I noticed that the first time I made this pattern was exactly a year ago. So I have 2 full-length Zadies and a playsuit Zadie, and there will be more of those in my life because I love that pattern. Right, what should we talk about next? Let's talk about a dress next, shall we? So, I've been wanting to make this pattern for ages, and that is the Tesuti Patterns Claudia dress. I love the imagery on this pattern. I think it looks absolutely stunning. But when I started looking at reviews, everybody was like, do you know what? Doesn't look like that when you make it up. Oh no. Then I saw the gorgeous Adele from Sofa Serenity was making it, so I hung on. I thought, I'm not making that for a little while. I'm just going to hang on and see what Adele says. And she said it was massively oversized on the top part of her body. So what I thought I'd do is I'd twirl it. So I made it up in the size that I should be, knowing then that I could kind of bring it in if I needed to. And this is my finished article. Ta-da! So I will again be putting some proper photos up so you can see it in more detail. But this is the Claudia dress by Tessuti, and I made it in this really beautiful, like a cotton blend fabric that I think I got from, I think I got it from Fabricate in Murfield, but you know when you're not 100% sure. I do think they sell it in Fabworks as well. I saw that the gorgeous Linda from Granny Linda Sews has just made a Zadie in this, and it looked stunning. In fact, I've seen quite a few people make stuff out of this fabric recently, and I've had this in my stash. It's probably one of the longest fabrics I've had in my stash. I have made a beach bag in this fabric, and I've still got 1 metre and something left of it because I just love it that much. Now, it is a narrow fabric as well. It's like 112 width, I think, so it's more like a cotton width. So you have to be a bit careful about how much fabric you need if you ever do choose this fabric. But I love the fabric. It's really, really soft, but it's got structure to it as well. So let's talk pattern. Now, Tessuti are not the most size inclusive of patterns, unfortunately. They go from an XXS to an XL. So that's a bust of 32 to 41.7, a waist of 27 to 37 inches, and a hips of 36 to 45.7. Now, you may notice from that, my hips are bigger than that, than the largest size. Now, come on, Tessuti. Come on now, I'm a 16, which is an average size of a woman apparently in the UK. We need these patterns to be bigger, don't we? I know they have extended some of their patterns, so I think they must be working through them, which is really good news if they are. I just love their aesthetic. I've made quite a few Tessuti patterns now, and yeah, I just think it would be nice if the size range for this could be extended. Now, so I should have basically been an XL all over. In fact, my waist is even bigger as well than the maximum size on this. So I made an XL all over. There was enough ease in it for me to know that I could kind of get away with it. However, I would like a little bit more space on my hips because when I sit down, it's a very close fit, if you know what I mean. Now, I've got a lot of notes on this one. Look at my picture. Oh no. Did you see my bit of haberdashery fall out that's going to show me where my next one is? Look at the amount of notes I've got on this one. Strap yourself in, you know what I mean? Right. It was a lovely sew. I really enjoyed sewing it, and that's what I like about Tessuti. They have a really lovely way of constructing garments. They finish things off nicely, they explain things really well, and I always kind of feel a little bit chuffed with myself when I finish because I'm really happy with what I've achieved. So the facing, it has facings on the bust and on the back, which are really lovely. It has mitered corners on the dress hem. Let me show you, see if I can find it. So if you see here, it has a lovely mitered corner look. I mean, that just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So it's got nice slits up the side. It's got a slit up both sides, which is really nice. And I managed to put a label in this one as well. I mean, I've done well. I don't think I put a label in my Zadie, but everything else I've managed to put a label in. Again, that is a little rosy cheeks one that says, make it happen. Yeah, so the construction of it is really, really nice. And it also has the most gorgeous pockets. So I think if you've seen my gorgeous Rachel from Stitched Up's Top Tip Tuesday from last week, she showed you how Tessuti construct their inseam pockets, and I love the way that they do it. But on this dress, you create them as you would do on all other Tessuti inseam pockets, but then you actually stitch them down as well, which is a really nice feature. The only thing for me is the pockets aren't quite big enough for me to get my big hands in. So if I was to do it again, I think I would redraft the pocket bag to be a little bit bigger, but it's nothing that kind of causes too much of a problem. Now on the top of the slits as well, I don't know about anybody else, but I always tend to have a problem at the top of the slits. So I've done like a little bar tack at the top. You probably can't see this, but there's like a little bar tack there just to give it a little bit of extra strength, you know, when you're walking as well, if you catch something. I didn't want it to split. But if you see the finish on this, it's like a double stitch all the way around. Can you see? It's just such a beautiful finish to it. It really is. I can't fault it for that. I shortened the straps on it by 2.5 inches. And the reason for that is because the bodice of it just did not fit me at all. It was incredibly low, which meant the arm side was really low down here, and you could see my bra and everything. And I was like, ugh. And I was actually at Rachel's house with Tamlin at the time, and Rachel helped me work out what I needed to do to kind of fit it a little bit better. So I shortened the straps, and then I took the front down to a size medium, I believe. Let me have a look. Yes. So I took the side seams at the of the front part, not the back, down to a medium, and then I graded out to an XL for the waist and the hips. And that fit me a lot better. So just above the pocket is where I kind of went back out to an XL. I kept the arm sike as an XL, so it was just this bit here that kind of, I wanted it to be a bit smaller. And I wanted to have that coverage under here. So with shortening the straps up a little bit, it brought the arm sike up. So it fits a lot better. Okay, the only thing is, at the front here, there's still a bit of gaping. So it's a straight top, a square neckline, and there's just a little bit of gaping here. So if I make it again, I'm gonna take a little wedge out just to bring that in a little bit so that I don't have that gaping around my chest. But overall, I am happy. Now, they talk in the instructions as well about using tearaware Vilene. Now, I remember when I first made a Tesuti pattern, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't have this. What is this? I just didn't use it. I just stay stitched instead. It is only to make the fabric not stretch out. So just a bit of stay stitching, all sorted. So yeah, I think I need to just do a little bit more work on it. I'm quite happy with how it is now. Just need to take a little bit out the front, but it was a bit of work to be done on this one. So just so you know, I would be very tempted, and I think Adele said the same thing, to downsize considerably. I mean, I downsized 2 sizes on the bust, but only on the front, not on the back. Now, which most people would think, oh, well, that's going to make the side seams sitting in a funny position, but it didn't for me. So maybe it's because I don't have the boobies. I don't know. There was nothing for my boobs to worry about there. Do you know what I mean? So other than that, a bit of work to be done on it, but I really do like it. The only thing is I would like a little bit more, because it's quite a straight down dress, I would like a little bit more space in my hips. I'm really sorry if you can hear my tumble dry going as well in the background, by the way. But, you know, needs must and all that. So let me get to my last make. Let me see if I can find it, because my piece of haberdashery that was showing me the page that it was on has just slipped out. How very rude. Here we go. Right. A little bit of a tale about this one as well. So I received a fabric from Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door, and it had lemons all over it, and it was beautiful. It was a Lady McElroy fabric, and I loved it. Now, I don't normally make anything with like fruit on it or anything like that at all, but I was drawn so much to it, and it just sang summer top to me in my head. So I was determined to sew that fabric up quickly, and I'm so pleased I have. But I was then trying to search for a pattern that I thought would work for the fabric, and it needed to be a perfect pattern. And I came across a pattern designer in France that I had never come across before. It must have just been in my Instagram feed, I'm not sure, but I saw the pattern and I was just like, oh, that's the one. I remember sending it to Rachel and Tamlin and going, I'm having that and I'm making it. And that's what I've done. So I'm probably going to kill this. I know there's a couple of French people or French speaking people that follow me, so I'm really sorry if I crucify this, but the pattern company is Lubier de Cadia. I sounded a bit posh then, didn't I? It's probably absolutely horrendous, and the top is called the Faustine top, and I'll pop a picture in here for you to see. And I love it so much. Now, I'm really sorry. Oh no, I was thinking I haven't put the sizes down here, but I have actually. So the sizes are 34 to 52. I don't know if I've written that down right, but anyway, it only gives you bust measurement, and that is from a 31.5 inch to a 48 inch, which isn't huge. However, the top at the largest size with the ease is actually a 52 inch final measurement, if you know what I mean. And I think there's probably a bit more room in that, to be honest, because it came out quite big on me. So I should have come out in between a 46 and a 48, and I made the 46. Because when I looked at the ease, I knew there was still going to be plenty of ease in it. But now I've made it, I think I could even size down one more, to be honest. So that's just a little hint and tip. The only other thing you need with this, for this pattern as well, is lightweight interfacing. That's all you need for it, which is really, really nice. It was €11 for the PDF, just if you want to know about it. Now, I only used as well 1.4 meters, which I think is amazing, especially for me, because I normally use a lot more because I have to lengthen and blah, 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 blah. Now, I did lengthen this pattern. I lengthened it by 2 inches. There are no shorten or lengthen lines on the pattern, so I just kind of had to work it out myself. I just drew a line across halfway down and then just added 2 inches to it on the front and the back. It doesn't indicate anywhere what height this pattern is drafted for, so I tend to go for the fact that most patterns are drafted for around 5'5", 5'6". Now I'm 5'8", so I'm kind of thinking 2 inches. Anyway, it worked out perfectly, so I was really, really lucky. It says it's 3 out of 5 for difficulty. Let's have a think. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it was that complicated. This is it, by the way. Again, I'll be putting some pictures in. Look at this fabric, isn't it beautiful? But what I love about this pattern is it's really plain and simple at the front, and then it's a full-on party at the back. I mean, look at that. So it's got a low square back, and then it's got these gorgeous pleats all the way down, which in this fabric were just perfect because it pressed like a dream. The other thing it's got is darts at the bust. You can just see those there. And then it's finished with a facing that you can probably just see through here, which is lovely. And I used my label that I got in the same box, which says "You're the Zest," and that's a lemon patch label. It's just, you know, when you make something and you're really proud of how it's put together, I'm just really proud of this. I mean, the back of it is just beautiful, isn't it? But yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with that. Now, you might think, okay, it's a French pattern company, I'm scared. And I kind of thought that when I got it. I have to say, the instructions were some of the best I've ever had. They do completely separate English instructions as well to the French ones. And, you know, sometimes when it's translated and there's like, it's kind of broken English sometimes, and you're like, oh, I don't really understand what that means. You don't need to worry about this one because it's bob on. Really, really good instructions. I loved everything about it, basically. That's it. That's all I've got to say about it, basically. I know a lot of people have gone and bought this since I mentioned it before, and I also put it on my Instagram because this is one of the ones that I have actually put on my Instagram. A lot of people have run off and have made this. The only thing for me is that on the back here, there's slight gaping here on the back, and I don't know whether that's something to do with me having quite a broad back or what it is. I need to do a little bit of work on that, I think. I don't know whether sizing down one size would do something, or if I need to take a little bit of fabric out. I have looked at other people on Instagram that have made this and they've got something very similar, so I don't think it's just me, but I would like to do, maybe take a little wedge out or something. I'm not quite sure yet. I need to work on that because I do love it. I mean, I should be in Italy wearing this, shouldn't I? You not think? With some little denim shorts, a little limoncello, a little chilled limoncello at the end of your meal with some lemon sorbet. Oh, yes. So that is 5 things that I've made. Now, do we call it 6 because the pajamas are 2? Let's call it 6. But yeah, so that's what I've been getting up to so far. So I thought I would just talk you through it. But yeah, I'm pleased with all of my makes. There's not one of those makes that I'm unhappy with. So yes. I would also just like to say, if you've got to the end of this, well done for a start off. And secondly, thank you so much. I have now reached 9,000 subscribers over the weekend and I'm really, really happy. So I'm inching very slowly now up to the 10,000 subscribers, and then we're gonna have some fun when we get to 10,000 subscribers. I think I mentioned it on a previous vlog, and some people have kind of said maybe a giveaway is not the way to go. It would be really good if it could be something that would include all of us. Some people have talked about a meetup. Now, whilst I'd love to do a meetup, it's actually a lot of work for someone to organise. I do know that myself and my Northern Soul sisters would love to do something like that in the future, so I think I'll probably keep that to that. where there's more of us that can help organise something. But I will be doing something when I get to 10k, don't you worry, and I've already started some plans. But if you've got any plans of what you think we could do that would include everybody globally as well, because obviously there's a lot of people that watch this channel that are actually from America, etc., Canada, Australia, lots of different countries, and I would love to include them. So I've got a few ideas, but if you've got anything that you think is really good, please do let me know in the comment section down below so that I can read through them and see if I can get some more ideas, because I'd love to have a bit of a celebration when we get there. So if you haven't already liked this video, please do so, and please do subscribe if you don't. There is around 28% of you that watch my vlogs that don't subscribe. It's completely free to do so. You just click on the subscribe button once you've set up an account on YouTube, and then you hit the notification button, and then every time I upload a video, it will just automatically tell you. You won't have to go searching for me. So thank you for watching to the end of this. We're on 35 minutes now, but anyway, hopefully I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.